The Sonoma Valley of Northern California might be the most beautiful spot that IndyCar visits. And Sonoma Raceway is where all three levels of the Mazda Road to Indy will crown their champions. Welcome to the fourth and final quarterly highlight show on NBCSN of the Mazda Road to Indy. I'm Kevin Lee, along with former Indy Lights and Pro Mazda driver Anders Krohn. In this hour, we're going to highlight the final races of the first two steps of the ladder to get to the Verizon IndyCar Series. That's USF 2000 and Pro Mazda. And Anders, we'll start with USF 2000 and look at what they have ahead to finish the season. They have 5 races in 2 venues and 3 drivers still very much in line for the championship.
The racing has been relentless. Florian Latour currently leading the standings in front of Jake Eidson and R.C. Enerson. I mean, those guys have been fighting it out all year long, and who knows what's going to happen towards the end.
Who surprised you most this season in USF 2000?
To me, it's R.C. Enerson. He came into the year not quite knowing exactly where he'd be, but he burst onto the scene with 3 wins in 4 races. Amazing effort.
And in Pro Mazda, we have 4 races remaining, 3 venues, including an oval, and a rookie and a veteran in line for the championship.
Spencer Pigot, the veteran coming into the year, was the favorite, but here we have Scott Hargrove now, who's been coming on so strong lately.
He won USF 2000 last year, but they're not the only 2 that still have a chance or have impressed this season.
We have yet another rookie in Neil Albrico, who's been coming on stronger and stronger throughout the year, and he could end here on a high note.
No, it's been a fun season, and still to be determined, champions and who gets scholarship money to advance to the next level of the Mazda Road to Indy. Lap-by-lap coverage also coming up from here at Sonoma, but we start with 3 races, the first of 3 from Mid-Ohio for USF 2000. And Florian Latour won his 5th pole of the season, but R.C. Enerson, the 17-year-old from Florida, took the lead in the first corner from 2nd place to get his first win since April.
He's doing everything right here in order to reclaim that championship lead. Florian Latour here finishing 2nd, but Peter Portante rebounding strongly in 3rd place.
And also note, HENRIK FURUSETH goes from 13th place to finish in the 5th position. And race number 2 started with some challenging conditions, Anders.
Massive rain for race 2. That was such a challenging race with full course cautions and cars sliding everywhere here as we see the podium here with Jake Edson. Amazing race for him and Aaron Tellitz. HENRIK FURUSETH charging all the way from 14th to 3rd.
And Edson started 6th, and there was a restart, essentially a green-white checkered. He restarted in the 3rd position, got the win on the last lap. To the 3rd of 3 at Mid-Ohio, and from the pole, Florian Latour wins again, his 2nd win of the season to continue his championship assaults.
And this was actually the only race without any rain affecting it at all. And as we see, Peter Portante here had a great weekend, and R.C. Enerson still looking strong yet again.
On the podium, so he still has an opportunity at the championship. So 12 of 14 rounds are complete in USF 2000, and this is how the championship looks right now with Latour in command heading to the final weekend.
He is, and he really has it all to lose at this point. Jake Eidson and R.C. Enerson are going to have to come up with something incredible at Sonoma in order to make it happen.
Final weekend of the season, 2 races. This is race number 1, Latour on the pole, Enerson in 2nd place heading up the hill.
Tough turn 1 here, and as we can see here, Enerson on the inside and Latour gets hit. That is a tough call right there. 2 championship candidates just fighting each other out, and it's getting a little bit too crazy.
So the 2 championship leaders starting side by side make contact in turn number 2.
And it's a tough call here on board with R.C. Enerson. As we can see, it's tough, really close quarters there. Florian turned in a little bit.
On board with Aaron Tellitz now.
Tough to get a good view exactly what happened. That looks to me like a racing incident, both being championship candidates not wanting to give each other 1 single inch of racing room.
Florian Latour displeased.
He is indeed, and he watches his championship nemesis win the race after having been taken out by him. Huge amount of displeasure for Florian.
And R.C. Enerson rolls to his 5th win of the season. We talked in the Open. We're not necessarily talking about him for the championship this season, but he goes into the final round with an opportunity. Tellitz and Edson also celebrating on the podium at Sonoma. And Aaron Tellitz goes from 5th to 2nd in that race. Peter Portante 6th to 4th. Colton Herta with a strong run, finishing in the 7th position. But the day belonged with some controversy to R.C. Enerson in Victory Lane at Sonoma.
were both racing for the championship, so it was just kind of a racing incident. I got inside, and it was just racing incident. We've been racing clean all year, so it was just, I don't know what happened there, but definitely a racing incident.
He want to win the championship, even if it's not fair. Maybe he don't have enough money. I don't know. Everybody says that he pushed me out, but the race director says that it's a race move. I have to win tomorrow.
And so now we head to the final round, round number 2 at Sonoma coming up, and it's a 4-point difference. And Jake Edson also lurking there, 10 back. And round number 2, the season finale with the 2 championship combatants together on road number 1, Edson and SLAGHEKKE in row number 2.
And the championship is, for all intents and purposes, now fully neutralized. Whoever wins this race out of Florian Latour or RC Enersen will grab this championship and the huge $350,000 check to move out to Pro Mazda.
Everything is on the line here today, and the 2 leaders are going to start side by side. The pole sitter gets the choice whether he wants the inside or the outside, and Latour in the white car is taking the outside of turn number 1 to set himself up for turn number 2. Here we go, the season finale is underway in USF 2000 from Sonoma.
It looks like RC Enersen is actually going to get the jump there, heading up the hill, up through turn 1 and going into turn 2. It doesn't, oh, Florian Latour late on the brakes there. Oh, as we see, I think that's Daniel Burkett going around.
Burkett and Peter Portante is also turned, so Burkett and Portante make contact in turn number 2. The leaders get through. RC Enersen from second has the advantage on Florian Latour, and keep in mind, Latour just 4 points up in the championship on Enersen going into this final round, and we are indeed yellow for the turn 2 incidents.
Wow, that was a crazy start right there. Luckily, the 2 leaders managed to stay clean here, but as we see 3 wide there, Peter Portante just running into the gravel ever so slightly, and he just won't turn, and he just hits Daniel Burkett.
And he had a nice run. Burkett did, coming up from the 9th position. Portante started in 6th. There's one more look. Burkett on the outside.
It just looks like Burkett had no idea Portante was there. He turns into the corner. He's a little bit wide, but Portante just goes straight on. Once you're on that gravel, there's no way you're going to turn and make it through the corner.
Here's another onboard look from Portante.
Yeah, Burkett had no idea that was coming. No idea whatsoever.
And here's on board with Daniel Burkett, and we could tell from the first few quick replays that this is heavy damage. His day is definitely going to be done.
His day is indeed over. That's a great shame as we go on board now with HENRIK FURUSETH here, getting a good view. Oh, Portante deep on the brakes there, just hits that gravel, and then as we can see, he goes straight, and obviously FURUSETH just able to avoid that.
All right, we'll sort it out. We'll get it restarted coming up in a moment. Daniel Burkett out early here at Sonoma. This is the Mazda Road to Indy 4th quarter recap program with lap-by-lap coverage of the season finale for USF 2000 and the restart on lap number 4 with RC Enersen out in front of Florian Latour, the 2 top cars battling for the championship.
Looks like a really clean restart there for RC Enersen, and all he needs to do right now is keep it clean. If he wins this race, he'll also win the championship. So he's going to be trying not to put a single foot wrong here, but we know Florian Latour is going to be putting on the pressure, trying to make RC Enersen make a mistake.
And remember, these 2 made contact at the beginning of yesterday's race. Latour suffered from that, finishing last. Enersen got his 5th win of the season, and they're racing here nearly nose to tail in the early stages of race number 2. Enersen in front in the blue car.
Florian ever so close there going into the carousel, now into the braking zone for turn 7. Probably the best passing spot on the track, but Florian not quite close enough, but he's right up against the gearbox there of RC Enersen. Wow, he's putting on some pressure.
And Jake Edson is lurking there in the 3rd position in car number 2. He's 19. From Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing. He's 3rd in the championship.
And let's not forget, if these 2 guys up front here get together, this could be Jake Edson's championship.
He's just 10 back. So yeah, if they have any more issues, Edson is really hoping for some dramas up front today.
Edson is indeed, and he could benefit greatly from that. But as we see right now, RC Enerson just has to keep this clean right now. It's a really, really tough track. Sonoma Raceway is very easy to make a mistake. A lot of slippery surface here on the outside of the ideal racing line. So all you need to do is outbrake yourself by a couple of feet, and you could be in trouble.
This is a 15-lap or 25-minute race as we see Colton Herta going at it there.
Jeroen SLAGHEKKE on the outside through turn 1, and wow, that's an impressive move from Colton Herta. You don't often see anyone on the inside of turn 1 here and make it through turn 2, but that was a great move from Colton Herta.
He's just 14 years old from Valencia, California, the son of former IndyCar winner and current team owner Brian Herta. Colton has impressed some people this season. And
Colton is mature well beyond his years. I mean, he's done so well this year. He's been in the top 5, and he's run so consistently. And considering the fact that he's 4, 5, 6 years younger than some of his competitors, he's done an outstanding job.
The leader, Enerson, is just 17 years old from Florida. And in the back, we have an off and maybe contact. That's Austin Cindric in the 77 car.
Wow, that was an amazing slide from Austin Cindric all the way to the outside, right towards the wall. I'm not sure if he made contact there, but that's at the bottom of the carousel. That's the fastest corner on the track. Super, super fast. Just loses it, just goes offline, actually jumps there, and it does indeed look like he taps the wall. That is dirt track style right there, and we know Austin's done some oval racing, so maybe that helped him in that situation.
And he came up racing Bandoleros and Legends cars, so he's done that. And the thing is that he stayed on it. He lost, obviously, a couple of positions. Oh, and there he's going to have an issue with a right rear flat.
Yep, so he crushed the rim there by hitting the wall, but still, that was an amazing save there. He was airborne going into the gravel trap, and the fact that he didn't wad the car up is impressive in its own right.
Back up front with Enerson, trying to hold off Latour. The championship is at stake, and the scholarship money to move up to the next level of the Mazda road to Indy with Pro Mazda. Right now, do you want to be the leader or the chaser?
That's a tough call right now. I think if you're RC Enerson, you'd rather be in the chasing position, because being put under such pressure is extremely strenuous mentally. Right now, he's just got to be so careful with not making any mistakes, whereas Florian has a very simple task. He's just got to go for the win.
Latour will continue to stalk and try to force Enerson into a mistake. 6 of 15 here at Sonoma in USF 2000. Back in Sonoma for USF 2000 and the Mazda Road to Indy with Anders Krohn. I'm Kevin Lee. The season finale for USF 2000. And RC Enerson grabbed the lead in the first corner, but here we're going to battle with Florian Latour trying to take a look at the inside.
There it is. He folded under the massive pressure, just locked up the wheels ever so slightly into turn 4. And this is Florian's shot right now. He needs to capitalize on this moment right here from RC Enerson. It looks like RC is good for right now, but Florian a heck of a lot closer.
This is not only for the race, this is for the championship. Latour comes in, 4 points up, and goes to the inside.
Oh, now the question is, can he hold this on exit here? He ran really, really wide there, but if he can make it into the S's, into turn 8 here out front, he is indeed. And that was a huge move there, both for the race and for the championship for Florian Latour.
Florian Latour has taken over in the season finale, but RC Enerson is not done. He takes a look and tries to cross over.
Now into that extremely tough braking zone into turn 9. Easy to run wide there, but Florian Latour keeps it clean and is pulling away.
Latour out by a couple of car lengths. Let's go back to the pass.
Wow, that was an amazing pass. So late on the brakes there. Didn't look like he had the track position to get it done, but he stuck it in there, and RC Enerson luckily kept the door open.
So now it's Florian Latour, Enerson, Edson, Tielitz, and FURUSETH, the top 5, as we head down to the final stages of this race, the season finale in USF 2000. We came in with Latour leading Enerson by 4 points. Jake Edson still also lurking, is 10 points back. but most importantly, Latour has stretched out by 10 car lengths now on Enerson.
Very impressive from Florian Latour here, pulling away so quickly in just one single lap here, as we see Jake Aitken now wanting a piece of RC Enerson, and he's closed up the gap to him.
So we're going to keep an eye on that battle for second position right now. And maybe if Edson can get by, we'd see if he'd have anything, but expect Enerson to continue to try to charge and see if he can put some pressure on Latour. The championship is at stake and an opportunity to get significant help, almost the entire budget to get to Pro Mazda. This is so critical, and this is what we love about the Mazda Road to Indy. Yes, it certainly helps, and many drivers do need some financial backing and some contacts, but it is possible to get there by winning.
The amazing thing about the Mazda Road to Indy is that it's the only racing ladder in the world that guarantees the champion to step up to the next step. So Florian Latour here, if he wins the race today and the championship, he will end up winning $350,000 to move up to the Pro Mazda Championship, the next step on the Mazda Road to Indy.
Florian Latour is in his second season in USF 2000. He finished 6th in the championship last year with a couple of podiums, and he's made great progress this season. Keep in mind, he turned 17 after this season started.
Unbelievable. Such a young guy, but he came into the U.S. so highly rated last year, but not necessarily with all the maturity of a top-notch driver, but he's earned that this year and has done such a great job all year long.
And while we are focused on the championship and the top 2 leaders, races throughout, this is the last opportunity to show what you have to finish this season. So every position is going to matter.
Every position is indeed, and keep in mind that these teams are going to keep an eye out for who ends the season on a high note. So you want to fight as hard as you can until the very, very last lap here.
Edson is still stalking Enerson, looking for that second position. Edson in the white car, the number 2. Enerson in front in the blue number 7, but Enerson so far is hanging on to second.
And Enerson, it's almost just like he lost his momentum completely there as soon as Latour got past. He just dropped his speed so drastically, and now Edson pushing him very, very hard indeed. You
know, that's an interesting point, because Enerson obviously is thinking at one point leading this race, okay, I can win the championship, and now how hard is it to refocus now, especially as the leader pulls away?
This is going to be so hard. He knew he had pressure from Latour initially in the race, and he probably knew that Latour was a little bit quicker. So now with Latour out in front, Enerson is just seeing him drive away, and mentally it's got to be so tough. Keep in mind, all these guys out front here are teenagers. They are professional race car drivers, but they are still teenagers, and mentally this is a tough one.
Florian Latour continues to stretch his advantage. Enerson now within about 3 or 4 car lengths up on Edson for third, and the top 3 have pulled away a little bit. That's Thielitz back in the 4th position. He's had a strong season. He's 4th in the championship, and HENRIK FURUSETH running in 5th. He came in 11th in points, so this is going to be an opportunity for the best finish of the season for him.
And very impressive season so far by Aaron Thielitz. He's come on super strong. He had the pace early on, but couldn't necessarily put the races together. But towards the tail end of the season, he has been immense. He won at Lucas Oil Raceway and has put together a handful of podiums outside of that. And I think going into next year, if he decides to come back to USF 2000, he'll be a championship threat, no doubt.
He's the old man in the group. He's 22 years old.
And it's crazy to think that at 22, he is the old man, but he is still a rookie to USF 2000, having competed in F1600 last year, finishing 3rd in that championship, but he's done an outstanding job this year.
Thielitz is a great example of someone also that has used winning to advance. He won the Skip Barber shootout, a $200,000 Mazda Speed Scholarship to get here, that first opportunity in USF 2000. Well, Florian Latour is just a little more than 2 miles away from winning here today and wrapping up a championship around turn number 11, turn number 12. Florian Latour is set to see the white flag one more time around Sonoma to determine the 2014 USF 2000 champion.
And even though RC Enerson is well back at Latour, Latour will have never felt pressure like this in his whole career before. $350,000 riding on a perfect final lap here. He needs to put it all together, and we all know he's not from a wealthy background, so he needs that money to be able to move up to the Pro Mazda Championship. So he will do anything he can to put together a clean final lap.
Latour has been remarkably consistent this season. Enerson has won more races, but Latour has always been near the front.
Latour has been so strong on the weekends where he struggled a little bit. He's always put together a solid result, and that's where Enersen has struggled a little bit more. When he's been off the pace, he hasn't been quite as good as putting together solid point-scoring races.
In fact, the only really bad result was yesterday when he made contact with the other championship contender in the second corner of the first lap, but it looks like he's going to rebound here today. He's still a teenager from France. Florian Latour is a few turns away from winning a championship in America, and look how much he stretched that advantage.
Unbelievable how he's pulled away right here, and this will be a huge win not only for him but also for his team, Cape Motorsports with Wayne Taylor Racing. They've won numerous USF 2000 championships so far, and they're looking like they're going to do it again.
2 turns to go for Florian Latour. Turn number 11. One more kink and back on the main straightaway. It's win number 3 of the season, and more importantly, a championship in USF 2000 for Frenchman Florian Latour.
Wow, look at his crew. They're hanging over the wall, congratulating him on the win. This is massive for Florian and his career. He is guaranteed now to be able to move up next year.
Strong drive for Latour, who did not hang on to the lead from the pole in the second corner. A thumbs up there from R.C. Enersen, who finishes second in the race, second in the championship. What a weekend here at Sonoma, and Florian Latour last and first in the 2 races. And here are the final results. Enersen, Edson, Telitz, FURUSETH. Colton Herta finishes in the top 10, and there's our Tilton Hard Charger Award for Andrew List. But now let's hear from the winner and the champion, Florian Latour.
It was amazing. We worked like the team did an amazing work, and I'm so happy to make this move for the championship. And now I will continue what I all the time dream. It's racing. So the next plan, it's we'll see, but I hope to go in Pro Mazda and win Pro Mazda next year.
Look at the emotion. And time for the replay XD move of the race.
Latour on Enersen, an amazing pass, and more so a $350,000 pass.
That might be the move of the season at this point, because it did determine the championship. That's how close it ended up.
Insane. All year long, these two were fighting it out. It came to a head in the penultimate race of the year, and here we have Florian Latour at the top.
And these are the final season standings. 2014 for USF 2000 is a wrap, but still to determine the champion in Pro Mazda. We'll get to that coming up next on NBCSN. This is the Mazda Road to Indy with Anders Krohn. I'm Kevin Lee, off to Pro Mazda and round number 10 of 14 in 2014. And the first race at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and the first win in Pro Mazda for Nicholas Costa from the pole.
Great job for him there, breaking through with a win there. And Ryan Booth as well, a rookie this year, coming into the season very, very strongly and now on the podium.
And he got there from 6th place. Spencer Pigot recovered from 8th to finish 4th. He's up 21 in the championship on Scott Hargrove. There are your full field results. And a second race at Mid-Ohio from early August, and Garrett Grist got his second win of the season from 3rd on the grid. He took the lead on lap 1 into turn number 6.
He won at Lucas Oil Raceway earlier this year, now breaking through here for another win. Nicholas Costa yet again showing his strength here at Mid-Ohio with a 2nd place finish.
Grist moved up to 5th in points. Scott Hargrove still trying to keep chase with Spencer Pigot, went from 8th to 3rd, and Neil Alberico went from 11th to 5th in race number 2 at Mid-Ohio. On to the second oval of the season, and this at the historic Milwaukee Mile. Spencer Pigot took the lead on lap number 3, and he got his 6th win of the season. He got by the pole sitter, Jose Gutierrez, and Nicholas Costa on that 3rd lap.
And it was a crazy race all throughout, where Spencer Pigot got the lead in an aggressive move and managed to pull clear in the championship from Scott Hargrove.
And here's how the championship looks now going into the final weekend of the season. A doubleheader at Sonoma. It's Pigot by 18 on Scott Hargrove.
Still everything to play for here. Neil Alberico still looking quite strong here, coming back towards the end of the season.
Race number 1 saw Scott Hargrove start on the pole in the white car, Spencer Pigot in second, the green and white car, Kyle Kaiser in third, Neil Alberico in fourth as they head up a hill in turn number 1, and Hargrove grabbed the advantage.
Always close quarters there going into turn 2 at Sonoma Raceway, but everyone making it through unscathed for the start.
And Pigot continued to stalk the leader. Hargrove with a little lockup, almost gets off. That gives Pigot the opportunity.
Hargrove feeling the pressure here from Pigot, knowing that he needs to win the race in order to have a chance at the championship. Pigot here just putting on the pressure coming into the final corner. Scott Hargrove locking up yet again, and that gives an amazing run here for Spencer Pigot.
Out of turn number 11, Spencer Pigot is going to grab the lead, but Hargrove is not done chasing him. Watch them as they go through 1 and 2. Hargrove to the inside in turn 1.
Side by side through turn 1, and we see there's contact right there. Both of them going off the track, and wow, that is a terrible, terrible thing there happening for these two championship contenders.
And look at the radiator dragging along for Spencer Pigot, and that allowed Kyle Kaiser to get to the front, and then more dramas for Pigot as he gets contacted again, and he goes around.
Huge drama there as Spencer Pigot actually punctures his oil cooler, putting oil all over the track. Everyone else spinning around the track here.
So massive issues. This was on lap number 3. Let's watch it again.
And we see the onboard with Hargrove. Hargrove is running quite a bit more wide there than he usually would through turn 1, probably trying to push Spencer Pigot into making a move there, but that is just, you don't want to see that.
And they're not done. And then more contact a little bit from the right front there from Hargrove that finished off Spencer Pigot.
Spencer Pigot just trying to hold it around the outside there, and he had no idea Hargrove was going to come into him the way he did right there. And at this point, he's still trying to carry on driving, but has no idea that he's got oil pouring all over his tires.
Yeah, he was eventually going to retire anyway, but this finished him off for the day. So the championship was separated by 18 points coming into this next to the last race of the season. Spencer Pigot was up 18 on Scott Hargrove, and the top 2 collide. Kyle Kaiser is the beneficiary. He comes through to win his first Pro Mazda race.
Great job for him as well. He's been strong all year, but finally breaks through to get his first win. Great job from Neil Alberico as well. These two guys doing a great job.
And Scott Hargrove survives. He finishes in the 6th position in this race. We need to hear from the people involved.
The race was going really well. We were fast, all over the back of Scott. Had an opportunity to get by him. Was completely in front of him, and then going up through turn 1, he just drove in the side of me. The contact ruined my side, cut all the lines of the engine, so the engine ended up blowing up, and very disappointing. The ball's in his court, really. I mean, he's the one that drove in the side of me, so we'll get the last lap tomorrow when we win the race.
I haven't seen him yet, but I'll apologize. I mean, it's hard racing, and that's what happens when it's close like that. So we'll move on, and hopefully there won't be any fistfights.
There's still another race to go to decide the championship, and now Hargrove was 18 down. He's 2 up on Spencer Pigot. Stay with us. Lap by lap coverage of the season finale for Pro Mazda is coming up next from Sonoma. This is NBCSN. This is the Mazda Road to Indy 4th quarter recap show, and time for lap-by-lap coverage of the season finale, round 14 of 14 in Pro Mazda. With Anders Krohn, I'm Kevin Lee. The championship decided by 2 points, and there they are in the front row. Scott Hargrove leads Spencer Pigot by 2 points. Kaiser and Alberico in row number 2. This, Anders, is going to be entertaining, we think.
This is anybody's championship out of Scott Hargrove and Spencer Pigot. Whoever finishes in front gets the championship.
18 laps are scheduled in this one today. We had major drama with the 2 championship leaders in race 1 the day before coming together, and here they are side by side again. That's Scott Hargrove, 2 points up in the white car. He will ultimately be in the outside of turn number 1 when they come to the green. Spencer Pigot green and white car. He is on the inside. Kaiser and Alberico in row number 2, and we're green, and Spencer Pigot gets the early advantage, but Hargrove is not giving it up yet as they head to turn number 2. Hargrove to the inside, and then contact. Pigot goes around. Alberico got into him, and Alberico is Hargrove's teammates.
Alberico just spins Spencer Pigot around there, and it looks like Spencer has stalled the car. This is horrible for his championship here.
That might be the championship right there. Let's look again. Alberico from row number 2 went wide.
Alberico just straight lines turn 2 right there and just hits Spencer right in the side. Oh, Pigot had nowhere to go. There was no way Spencer could have predicted that.
And Kaiser, who won race number 1, also got caught up a little bit. This is on board Spencer Pigot.
He just gets looped around. That's horrible to see here. We wanted a clean championship fight here in the final race, but now it doesn't look like we're going to get to see that.
And what's he thinking at this point? This is on board Pigot's teammate, Jose Gutierrez.
This is a real mental break here. Look at Gutierrez gaining a bunch of spots there. Great move for him.
He started 5th, comes back out in 2nd. Restart now as we are back at it. This is on lap number 5. Gutierrez trying to hang on to that 2nd position, but up front, Scott Hargrove got the jump.
Hargrove with a great restart there. He's just got to keep it clean at this point in order to win this championship. As we see Spencer Pigot here, he's already started working his way through the field here, passing Bobby Eberle for position right there.
Pigot restarted in 12th position, but he's 2 points behind coming into this. There are no pit stops. So Scott Hargrove is in control of this championship right now.
He is indeed, and really the only way Spencer Pigot gets this is if Scott Hargrove crashes or anything like that. Otherwise, this is Scott Hargrove's championship, which is obviously a huge turnaround from where they came into the weekend.
Now, I'm not alluding that it was intentional or anything, but it is notable that it was Hargrove's teammate Alberico that makes contact, and this is on board with Jose Gutierrez, who is running in 2nd. It won't help Spencer Pigot, but we'll wait and see if we hear anything from race control on that contact with Alberico and Pigot.
Yeah, that was not a nice thing to see. You never want to see someone get taken out blatantly like that at the start of the race, but there are close quarters, and we're just now hearing something from race control that there might be some action taken against Neil Alberico.
We'll watch for that. It is under review at the moment. Scott Hargrove, the young Canadian, trying to control this race and win the championship. This time he wasn't involved in this one, as was the case yesterday when he made contact with Spencer Pigot.
And what a controversial end to the championship this has been, both in USF 2000 and Pro Mazda. We've seen crashes, we've seen spins, we've seen it all. This truly is a testament to just the pressure that these drivers are under. And keep in mind, if Scott Hargrove is to win this championship today, he'll receive $650,000 to move up to Indy Lights. So a huge prize at stake here if you win the championship.
Right now in front, Scott Hargrove, and there's the drive-through. Neil Alberico has indeed been penalized by race control for that turn 2 contact with Spencer Pigot, but it does not help Pigot. He's trying to charge back to the front after going from the front to near the back, and Scott Hargrove is in charge in the early stages of the season finale. It's the early stages of the season finale from Sonoma for Pro Mazda with Anders Krohn. I'm Kevin Lee. Scott Hargrove came in leading by 2 points over Spencer Pigot in the championship. Pigot caught up in an incident in turn 2 of lap 1, restarted in 12th, trying to make his way back up through the field. And he is up to 8th at this point, but Scott Hargrove is pulling away. That's Jose Gutierrez from Mexico, running in 2nd position right now. Nicholas Costa, Shelby Blackstock, and young Jack Aitken in his debut in Pro Mazda is running 5th, Anders, for Team Pelfrey.
Doing a great job. Jack Aitken coming for Formula Renault in Europe. Came over here just to test the waters in the U.S. and looks to be doing really, really well so far. But now switching focus to Scott Hargrove here. He's really just got to limit his mistakes at this point. He does have the championship in the bag right now, but still a lot of racing yet to come.
Hargrove is still 19 years old from Vancouver, British Columbia. He is the defending champion in USF 2000, trying to win the scholarship money for a second year in a row, like Matthew Brabham did from USF 2000 and Pro Mazda.
Matthew Brabham is a great example of someone that's moved up through the Mazda Road to Indy so quickly. He's had a race win this year in Indy Lights and has struggled a little bit, but so far otherwise done a good job.
This is a battle for 12th position, Garrett Grist and Michael Johnson.
And a very interesting note about Michael Johnson is that he's actually paralyzed from the waist down, so he's controlling this race car with nothing but hand control. So what he's doing is truly amazing. As we see Spencer Pigot here passing his teammate Giulio Bellario into the carousel. Spencer is on a tear right now, up to 7th. He's just got to stay focused and keep pushing forward.
And Anders, I'm wondering what he's thinking at this point. He feels he was blatantly taken out yesterday by his chief championship rival, and that same rival's teammate today, Hargrove's teammate Alberico, takes him out early in this race, and he needs something to happen to Scott Hargrove to have a chance.
Yeah, it's so easily to be mentally drained in a situation like this. You're coming into the weekend as the favorite for the championship. Suddenly you see yourself falling backwards with things that are completely out of your control, and now the way it stands right now, it's Scott Hargrove's championship.
So much is on the line. Yes, it's the pride of winning, and that's always the #1 goal, but sometimes this is survival. Some of these drivers, if they don't win the scholarship money, they are not as likely to be able to move on, and maybe not move on at all.
I think 100% both Scott Hargrove and Spencer Pigot rely on this prize of winning the championship in order to be able to move up to Indy Lights next year. So these guys are fighting for their lives and for their careers at this point.
And both of these guys have the credentials to move up to Indy Lights. They have shown that they are, I think, prepared to take that next step.
Both of them have shown the speed and consistency all year long, so no doubt both of them are ready to make that step. But there is only one prize. There's only one guy that's going to get that $650,000 to move up to Indy Lights.
And not only do you want to be one step away from the Verizon IndyCar Series, but they've seen that new Indy Lights Dallara, and they want to get a taste of that next year because it's getting rave reviews.
It is going to be an amazing piece of machinery. I've seen it in action myself. It sounds amazing. It's way faster than the current Indy Lights car. As we see, is that Kyle Kaiser is stopping here at the top of turn 6. That's a weird spot to stop.
And Kaiser was involved in contact in that turn 2 incident. This is going to come to yellow. So Kaiser, the winner yesterday, and we have a yellow as we head to the later stages here of the season finale in Pro Mazda. This is the season finale for Pro Mazda from Sonoma, and a restart on lap 15 of 18. The championship leader, Scott Hargrove, takes the green flag in front of Jose Gutierrez. Nicholas Costa in 3rd in the yellow car. That's Shelby Blackstock in the red and black car in 4th position. And newcomer Jack Aitken there in 5th. And we saw Spencer Pigot, 7th place. He was involved in early contact, fell to the back. Hargrove in position to win the championship. And here comes Pigot looking for another spot.
Look at that, Pigot taking that spot from Joey Bickers there. Great move from him.
And a pass for the lead. Gutierrez going around, slowing Scott Hargrove. Hargrove had the championship in hand, but he's dropped 3 spots back in 4th position.
And we have no idea what's happening here, but he looks so slow coming off the carousel there. People are blowing by him, and now the next guy back is Spencer Pigot.
This is for the championship right here. Pigot is right behind Scott Hargrove, who clearly has an issue. Pigot looked like his chance for the championship is over. He might have made contact. He goes around the continuing slowing car of Hargrove.
And it looks like Hargrove tried to block Spencer Pigot there, even though he was off pace. But now this completely changes everything. This puts Spencer Pigot back in the lead of the championship as Hargrove continues to lose spots.
And there's Ryan Booth going around. Booth in the 19 car. He was running in the 10th position.
This is a crazy race, and that's sorry to see Ryan Booth around there, but obviously the biggest thing right now is the championship between Scott Hargrove and Spencer Pigot.
Let's take a look at this again. Scott Hargrove looked like he was going to cruise to the championship. This is on board Jose Gutierrez, running in 2nd position. Let's listen. Couldn't hear anything there. On board with Hargrove.
His car is just jumping out of gear there. That is, you don't typically see that. Oh, he has some major gearbox issues there. That is incredible. Not a single mechanical issue all year long with that Cape Motorsports car, and here it is in the final race of the season as he was leading the championship. That's heartbreaking for Scott Hargrove.
And he's just limping around. He's fallen all the way to the back.
And he is at the back of the pack right now, and the way it stands right now, he's 11 points behind Spencer Pigot in the championship.
And he had the lead with 4 laps to go on a restart. Kyle Kaiser caused the caution. He's a Juncos driver, Spencer Pigot's teammate. Pigot maybe needed that caution to help, but the caution may not have mattered. It was the gearbox issue, we think, that caused the problem for Scott Hargrove. And now Spencer Pigot in 5th position is in the championship lead, and the race lead is his teammate Jose Gutierrez, who has not won this season.
This would be a breakthrough win here for Jose Gutierrez, who's been so competitive. He got the pole position at the Milwaukee Mile earlier this year, but now well and truly in the lead here.
Jose Gutierrez, 8th in the championship, coming in. The Grand Prix of Indianapolis, the second race there on the podium, and an opportunity to move another step higher to the middle of that podium here today. And what a day it would be for Juncos Racing. Just a few laps ago, they weren't in position for the win and thought the championship was going to go away. But as we learned, it's not done yet. Spencer Pigot has to make it to the finish.
Here's the big storyline right here. We just saw a shot of Spencer Pigot. If he can keep it together right now, he will win that championship and secure his move up to Indy Lights next year, which would be huge for his career. We know he's wanted this for so long. He's a veteran of the Mazda Road to Indy, having done 2 years of USF 2000, came into Pro Mazda last year, got a win, got some solid results, but this year has just been so strong all year long, winning the first 4 races, in fact.
6 wins this season, and there it's going to end for Scott Hargrove. He's rolling down pit lane. He looks like he is going to have to retire. He was 4 laps away from $650,000.
And this truly just shows you the ups and downs in racing. You can be on top of the world one moment and at the bottom of it the very next moment. And this just shows how unforgiving this sport can be sometimes.
So what a turn of events, and that's the kind of weekend it has been here at Sonoma for all levels of the Mazda Road to Indy, and Scott Hargrove has climbed out of the car. 1 more lap to go. There is the white flag for Jose Gutierrez. Juncos Racing trying to finish off with a win, and Spencer Pigot is a lap away from the championship.
Now Spencer Pigot just has to make sure he keeps it clean on this lap. If he comes into the pits, this could have championship implications yet again, so he can't afford to make a mistake right now. But staying in 5th place will get him that championship.
Nicholas Costa is running in 2nd position right now. He's waiting to see if Gutierrez makes any kind of mistake. Shelby Blackstock in position for the podium. And in his debut, 18-year-old Jack Aitken from London is running in 4th position. Pigot is right behind him. Then Joey Bickers, who's also moving up to this level.
Bickers usually competes in the Mazda MX-5 Cup, but has stepped up to Pro Mazda for this race and is really, really impressing a lot of people with his performance.
6th today. He won the Team USA scholarship last year, so he's been on the radar for a little while. Great day, though, for Jose Gutierrez. He was lurking, running in 2nd, weaved his way through the incident turn 2. He scooted by 3 or 4 spinning cars, kept it clean, and then he was ready to take over when Hargrove had what we think is a gearbox issue.
Only a couple of corners here to go for Jose Gutierrez, and what will be a good day for him and Juncos Racing overall. But the day here will belong to Spencer Pigot as long as he makes it through this final corner.
Turn number 11 for Jose Gutierrez. 1 more kink to go, then back on the main straightaway. A first-time winner in Pro Mazda, Jose Gutierrez, a teenager from Mexico, has won at Sonoma. And in 5th position, Spencer Pigot. Fists in the air. He is the 2014 Pro Mazda champion.
And you can see the emotion just overcoming him in this moment.
Here are the final results. Costa and Blackstock on the podium. Felipe Donato wins the Quartermaster Hard Charger Award. And also, we'll note that Kyle Kaiser was disqualified for causing avoidable yellow or red condition. Let's hear from the winner now, Jose Gutierrez.
It's so good. It's my first win in the Pro Mazda Championship. My first year with Juncos Racing. I can thank a lot for this team. I can choose a better team with Juncos Racing. They're an awesome team. I have no words right now. I'm so excited.
And here is the replay XD move of the race, and it wasn't that the overtaking was that challenging. It was not making contact with Scott Hargrove. It's for the championship.
We had a good start. We were side by side with Scott, and then unfortunately I got hit by behind and just threw the whole day upside down. You know, just had to keep my head down and keep pushing, try to pass as many guys as I could. Just, you know, you never know in racing, and we got a strike of luck with the problem that Scott had, and man, I can't believe it. It was all looking good, and then it was all horrible. So, you know, I don't really know what happened. I just know I got hit from behind, and but, you know, karma came around for us, and we're the ones with the last laugh, and we can celebrate tonight. Indy Lights next year. Can't wait to drive that beautiful new IL-15, and then, you know, IndyCar's the goal, so we'll hopefully be there one day.
From the lowest of lows to the highest of highs, bad luck, finally some good luck for Spencer Pigot, and there's the final board. Your championship leaders for 2014 in Pro Mazda. Anders, this has been an entertaining season.
We've seen it all this year. We've seen championships be turned upside down. We've seen crashes. We've seen new winners. We've absolutely seen it all, and I can't wait for next year to roll around.
Coming up September 13th and 14th, the Chris Griffiths test with all 3 levels of the Mazda Road to Indy at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. For Anders Krohn, thank you for joining us. I'm Kevin Lee. This is NBCSN.